when you hire a contractor to flip a house, never, ever, ever, ever give a down payment in your life.
Yeah.
I don't care how good they are. I don't care how bad they are. I don't care how professional they look. Never, ever give a down payment. That's something that we lost, I think, like $70,000 last year because of, if I just listen to that sentence right there, that's one thing I really...
What's a down payment?
What I meant, like to give them a deposit. Like, you know, like say the project's $50,000, like they asked for a down payment of $10,000, right? So like, hey, like to start the project, or you know, the project is 30, they asked for you know, 5,000. We've had guys where I don't want to say names, but a contractor came to us, right? He started out a house for us, and he did very well. He did very well. He gained our trust. We trusted this guy. I mean, he was a master scammer. And then he picked up a couple other houses, and then at some point he reached the 3 houses at one time for us with his crews. And then he came to us and he's like, man, I got to pay my guys. I got something coming up with my sister. I have to pay for her hospital or something like that. Can I get like a deposit or like a upfront payment before I start the project? We didn't do that, anything like that before, but he already did some flips. We didn't want to lose him. We wanted to help him out. So we just gave him 20 grand on each one, and 20 something thousand on each one. And he just disappeared. So ever since then, I changed that.
He's still in town. Do you see him?
Yeah, I still see him. We're working on something against him for sure. Because we found, like on Facebook, we had some contractors send us screenshots of how he got 20,000 or something like that from another lady, and how he scammed this other guy for another money. So he's been doing it for a lot of people. And believe me, Steve, if you met this guy, you would like him. He's so good at just getting people, like he's a people person. And when you meet somebody like that, like maybe this is gonna be my next you know, partner in the next business venture that I start, in my next construction company. And that's kind of the relationship we had. Like, we trusted him so much, not only me, but my partners as well.
So you guys were potentially partnering up with him to start another business as a contractor before he violated that trust. Like that was in your mind.
It was in my mind because he was so good at finding cheap labor. I was like, what if we partner up with this dude, right? It was in my head. Like we even verbally expressed it. Vocally expressed it. But so that was in our brain because he could find people that were really cheap. And they were really good at their job, right? And so we're like, this guy could be like a good it could be a good addition to our company. Like, this guy could help us go to the next level because we were having trouble finding cheap labor, finding people that are affordable, that do stuff at high quality where it sells really easily.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so what other things can you do to properly manage contractors?
So when you draft up a contract with a contractor, right, you have to, prior to starting the job, you have to point out when, let's say they finish the roof, they get paid this much. They finish the demo, they get paid this much. They put in the windows, they get paid this much. They finish the framing, they get paid this much. Clearly saying how much they're going to get paid, not based off of a week, because some of them want to get paid weekly. Like, hey, dude, I want to get paid every Friday. That doesn't work, because if you go there, sit there for a whole week and you don't do anything, that doesn't work out. So based off task, that's the only way it could be done. That's the only way you could scale this business without losing money, is if you truly do it based off task, not based off of the hours that they spend there. Pace always says this: eat what you kill. Eat what you kill. So that's the kind of mentality we have.
So let's pretend I'm a contractor, right? Like, I came by you referral, right?
I've never met an Asian contractor before.
I've seen some in California, but only in California. All right, but let's just pretend.
Okay.
Right, I'm a contractor. Come highly qualified, highly recommended. You see all my work, but I was like, Mo, I can't start without something. You got to pay for materials. What do you say?
We pay for materials.
Okay, so then you got to pay. Like, I need some money to get started. What are you gonna tell me?
Before I even have a conversation, I always kind of lead. as soon as somebody calls me, is like, I want to start, I'm like, let me tell you how we work.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you how we do business. There are things that we will never do. They're not negotiable. It will never happen. Just don't even dream about it. We don't give down payments, and we don't pay every week. We pay by task. And that usually pushes away a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it pushing away a lot of people. But it has to be clearly, I have to tell them that very clearly in the beginning. That's the only way it will happen. And immediately they say, oh, that won't work for me. And I'm like, okay, thank you. If you change your mind, just reach back out to me. And I've had guys change their mind, because it does get, contractors are constantly chasing jobs. And it gets to the point sometimes where they're tired of chasing jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like, oh, if I can get with this guy, he has a bunch of houses, I don't have to ever look for a job again.
Right.
So they see that value in us. And so we tell them, like, dude, we can draft up a contract. You know where my office is. Like, I'm not living at the back of my truck, like, you know where we're at. Most people in town know who we are. So that, when I usually express that, they're okay with it.
All right. So you said here are our two non-negotiables. We don't pay up front, and we don't pay per week. We pay per milestones.
Exactly. And sometimes they get paid multiple times a week, right? That sometimes it works in their favor, because if they knock out 2 things in 1 week, they get paid twice a week. Yeah. So to me, it doesn't matter how often they get paid. It just matters to me how much they get done.
Yeah, and I think it's so important too, because like we have contractors, right? That, I mean, I love it when they don't bill me until the end, right?
Yeah,
like,
there's some.
That's the best, right?
They have to have deep pockets, though.
They got deep pockets, but they run real businesses.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, like, we just spent $50,000 remodeling this whole place, and they still haven't sent me an invoice. Right. They just finished last week. They haven't sent an invoice. Like, that's awesome. Right.
Yeah.
They've been doing this work for, let's see, we started in December, so
they're a big company.
3 months. Right. Yeah. I love it as a consumer. Right.
100%.
So, but I think, there are a lot of contractors get a bad rep, and I kind of think that part of it is, I try to explain this to other people, right? Like, I understand you're frustrated with the contractor, right? They're not running this business. They might be slow, they might be disorganized. But here's the thing, like, most business owners are a mess, right? Wholesalers, flippers, realtors, every industry is a disaster in some capacity. And 80% of every industry, like in every industry, 80% of the people are morons, right?
100%.
So like, I think like these industries or the contract